Good morning, viewers at home. How are we this morning? It's a beautiful day and it's a beautiful way to start your morning. This is Galaxy Television. The program is Family and Values. It's all about me, it's all about you, it's all about Princess Joy sitting right here next to me. Okay? And also about our guest. It's all about everything that makes us who we are. The family we represent. What are those things that we're still lacking behind? We need more touch. Even though nobody is perfect, but we can always make the right path and the right way. So on Family and Values, we discuss here from Mondays to Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And it's all about family. It's all about your children, my children. How well? How is our health? And how is our business, our career? Whatever profession you're good at, what is your contribution to that establishment, to the society at large? What are those things that you still need to, work on and do well with? So this morning, it's another beautiful time for you to join us on Star Times 112 and also join us on our application Galaxy app. You can also join us on Facebook and YouTube and be part of the program. You can be part of the program also on AVIO application, on Prime application. We have Galaxy channels running through all this. And we go on and on like that. But what I wanted to do this morning is to remember one thing, that you are there to shine. And another morning is another gift for you to radiate and share, express, and make sure you do something profound and something positive. This morning, we're going to be dealing with a lot of things. But first, I want to tell you my name is Uluri Adijoke. I'm David, my friends still call me Uluri DJ. And I have a darling sister sitting right here.
Good morning to you. I love the elegance this morning. It reminds me, when they say somebody comes in different shades, the pink is really popping. I don't know, but you're not enjoying holiday, but it seems like somebody is planning another holiday.
I will not mind having another. You can never be tired of holiday.
Well, you can't be tired of
because
holiday.
Even while you are still working on that holiday, you
still have some things you're working on. That's true. One never gets that. Happy holiday. Everybody's celebrating holiday today. We'll get to that anyway. Good morning. I am Princess Joy Ayo Abu. My name, my identity. Welcome to Family and Values. We are streaming on our Facebook and on our YouTube page. I will always emphasize, download the Galaxy mobile app so that you can watch us on the go. Today's show promises to be very, very informative and educative. It cuts across everyone. And thank God it's holiday, so you don't have any reason to miss today's show. Just sit back and learn and share on all your platforms, because today's knowledge would not be wasted. To be useful to you. Sit back and enjoy the show.
So even as you sit back to enjoy the holiday, it is Sheshe Day. Yeah, Southwest, basically. Actually identify themselves with Sheshe Day. So Southwest, basically. I wish they can just use this as Sheshe Day, to be what they'll be using to swear in our leaders.
Okay, when you say swearing our leaders, that means there's going to be different swearing in with different, because the Igbos will use their Omadio has.
If we can identify with it.
So that means every region will use what they believe
in their culture.
In their culture.
What they believe, as in their cultural, traditional, activity. If they identify with it.
But my happiness is, I love the fact that the people are out to identify. We live in a part where people don't want to identify with certain things. They believe, a lot of people hide. There are Christians here, they are hiding under this thing. I've seen a lot of sacrifices on the road, Yes, coming all the way. There are almost all these roundabouts and T-junctions you'll see. But my happiness is people identify with it. They are not hiding. So if I see somebody that I know that is there, I won't be looking at you with a different eye. I know that, this is what and I'll respect your tradition. That's just my happiness in it.
So yes. I'm trying to says that it will be a good opportunity. This is family and values, okay? So the value of identifying with
It's
that
upholding the
traditional way
integrity.
of life, should also work with your integrity by swearing you in as a leader.
With what you believe in. It's sharp. Oh.
No mercy.
It's sharp.
So I pray they do that, but many will not want to. It's another beautiful day. It's 20th day in the month of August, 2025. And let's go for the mini feature. I'll be right back with those shout outs later in the day. Stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed that mini feature because it's actually explainable, and I want to believe you understand every bit of what we're going to be discussing today. If you are a mother, if you're a father, indeed, not a biapa, not the abia, how do we call it again? They have different meanings to abia now. Some will say you are not a mother, you're a murderer. You are not a father. You are the most farthest person from your children. That means you're far. And you're future. And some will always say that if the society, the government will blame the parents will go back to school will blame the society will blame the peer pressure. And some will say it's the child's fault. So who is to blame? Teenage crime. The high rate of teenagers going into crime, found guilty of offense, murder, crime, cybercrime, and many other rituals, it's just becoming alarming. Now, I want to tell you, things that aren't your fault can be your responsibility. How many child have you seen on the road doing certain things, and you see this is wrong, and you try to correct? Of course, many will tell you, what's your business? So if we try to condemn them and never make any move to correct them, it's normal for them to make errors, to make mistakes, and we can always bring them back. But this morning we're looking at teenage crime. Who is at fault or who is to blame? And this morning I have my Woodland legal advisor, the person of barrister Kemisola Oyetayo. She's a family lawyer, and that's why it is good for you as a mother, as a father. If you're a parent, please come closer. Single, married, divorced, or you are just want to be baby mama or single father. Baby daddies. Baby mamas and baby daddies. Please, this is time we need to come closer. And if you have any question whatsoever, you can only send it to the number on your screen much later. We'll read it. We're only taking questions. We don't want to take calls. We're taking questions, and you can send it to the number on your screen and we'll continue with the conversation in as much. So it's so good to have you this morning.
Thank you.
It's been a while. Busy.
As is the case usually. It's a pleasure being here.
Okay. Joy is
just
looking at you. I'm sure she's trying to see what
far from it. I'm looking at the way lawyers, barristers carry themselves, except to meet them in court. That's when you now understand the other side of them,
Oh my God.
when they're doing when they're doing their thing. So I'm seeing her calm, and in my head I'm like, no, she's not calm like this. She's in the studio. The court environment is different. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, now, Kemisola, Barrister Kemisola, can you share with us your analysis on teenage crimes? Because as a family lawyer, I want to believe one way or the other you would have come across such a case or tried to walk through counseling of such a case. Now, in your analysis, I also want you to what extent are parents responsible for criminal behavior as a lawyer? What's your analysis of this? So you have 2 in 1.
Thank you. I'd like to start by telling us, for the purpose of those of us who may not actually understand what it means, what teenage crimes, is all about. First and foremost, crime is any illegal act that is committed by any individual that is below the age of 18. And Section 29 of the Criminal Code Act says that any person that is below the age of 18 is a minor. So basically, we want to talk about whether minors can be criminally liable for offenses they commit. Before delving into that, I want to tell us about the fact that there are various factors responsible for teenage crimes. We have societal factors, we have environmental factors, we also have economic factors. Right. So teenage crime, like I said earlier, are crimes committed by persons below the age of 18. However, these categories of persons are classified into various groups. Now we have persons between the ages of 0 to 7. In the eye of the law, such persons cannot be criminally liable. Now we also have another group of persons between the categories of 8 and 12. For certain kind of offenses, this set of teenagers can be criminally liable. Now, going by Section 30 of the Criminal Code Act, any child from the age of 12 can be criminally liable. I'll say it again for the purposes of our parents at home. You have a child, and your child is 12 years and above. Your child, for offenses committed, can be criminally liable. Because at this point in time, the law presumes that that child possesses the capacity, the mental capacity, to be able to decipher between what is right and what is wrong. And that is the determining factor for juveniles. Now there are, for teenage boys now, below the age of 12, despite the fact that the law says that a child between age 7 and 11 can be criminally liable. However, for teenage boys below the age of 12 that are involved in the offenses of rape, the law believes that they are not capable at that point in time to be able to understand that the nature of the offense that they committed, is that serious. So for rape offenses, boys, juveniles between the ages of 0 to 12 will not be criminally liable. And then for juvenile offenses, there is a special juvenile justice system that handles that, of course, for obvious reasons. Though, our children can be big physically, but they don't possess the same mental capacity as adults. And for that reason, they are treated specially. We have a justice system that, treats their cases. And the second question, which says whether parents can be criminally liable for offenses committed by juveniles. As a matter of law and as a matter of fact, every individual is criminally responsible for acts committed by them. Parents cannot be legally, responsible for offenses committed by children. However, in certain circumstances, for instance, where it is found that those parents directly encourage such behavior, there are legal consequences. Also, where parents fails to supervise or control their children such that they carry out acts that, results in offenses, there are consequences for such actions. Take, for instance, if you as a parent possess a gun and you carelessly drops your gun on your TV and your teenage child picks it up, shoots at somebody and, commits a serious offense, murder. Now, as a parent, you'll be liable because you were negligent in the handling of that dangerous weapon. So, to that extent, parents can, they can face legal consequences for their actions.
Thank you so much. I love how you took us stage by stage, because when you started saying someone below 18 is a minor, my head, I'm already thinking these people I'm seeing on the road, like I would they commit a crime and they'll go scot that will be considered as minors. But I love how you had to break it down and make us understand that yes, even at that they are setting this in. But now I want to, ask a very important question, and let's bring in the influence of peer pressure. Now, we all live in a society where pressure comes from everywhere. And when we talk about peer pressure, sometimes we don't understand the depth of what peer pressure can do in the life of our teenagers or our pre-adolescents that are coming in now. How does peer pressure influence or contribute, to teenage crimes or pre-adolescent crimes? Now, a few months back, I read a story, of a 12-year-old girl that shot another girl because of boyfriend. And yes, and actually shot the girl and killed the girl. And he said because the girl snatched her boyfriend. And in my head, I'm thinking 12 years snatch boyfriend. A lot was running through my mind. So now, how does peer pressure? Because it should have been as a result of peer pressure of, oh, I want to have a boyfriend, or something must have happened. How does it contribute to teenage crime and pre-adolescence crime?
All right. You see, talking about peer pressure, I would say is the most common kind of influence, any child can have. Children, adolescents, teenagers are easily influenced by friends, their peers, because for one, those are the people they relate to on a daily basis. Aside that, excuse me, excuse me. Thank you. Aside that, there is this need for acceptance. Every teenage person wants to be like their peer. I still it's still raining presently. Every teenager wants to own an iPhone. Every teenager. So some of them go into several kind of crimes to just accomplish that mission. You understand? So it is very common amongst our peers, and to a large extent, it influences our peers, our children's, the juveniles' decision. For one, in families where there are no bonds, where a child does not really feel like is a part of the family, it's an easy way for that child, to be influenced by friends, peers that they relate and talk to, because in those friends they find solace, they find comfort. They feel that I can't talk to my mom, but I can talk to my friend. You understand? That brings back, to memory. Some years back, I used to be very close to youth in my church, and because of that, what parents don't know, I do know. Juveniles are freer with people of their ages, particularly juveniles from dysfunctional homes. Juveniles from homes where parents don't even have time for their children. In the early hours of the mornings, they are gone. They return in the night. Such children don't even have the opportunity to talk to their parents. And as a result, they feel not like they're not a part of that family. So the easiest people they turn to is their peers. And those peers, of course, whether negative or positive, they offer solutions to their problems, and oftentimes, what it is, tends towards crime. So I would say peer pressure plays a very vital role in influencing the juveniles.
And that's why we're talking about it today. Most of us children are on holidays. I love the fact that she said, homes that are not functioning, it means the parents are far away. It's not just single parents. Parents who are still with their children, who are still together, father and mother, living together, and also go through this experience. So, like I said, if you're a mother, you're a father, we're calling out to you now. And that's what family and value is all about. I am also guilty. Joy is guilty. Every one of us should bring these children, build them up the way they would be. Now let's go for our what a marvel. And we'll continue with this discussion, so stay tuned. Price, is the society paying for abandoning character? I mentioned before we started this program. You see my daughter on the road, and I will not question her. Even if you can't do that, there are better ways you can handle the situation. Do it in love and see how they react. Even if the child is the worst person, you have ever has the worst character you have ever come across. There's a way you can reach out to that child. So a big shout out to Sheyi Opembe from Barrister Kemisola Omitayo. Happy birthday to you. Many, many, many more feeling your age. And also to my nephew, Donald Manjoko Amos, as we clock 16. Many fulfilling your age. Joy to get one.
Yes, that is to our very own guest, Reverend Mike Olanga. Yesterday, on Sunday, he celebrated 25 years anniversary. 25 years of marriage. It's not easy. So happy anniversary to you,
okay,
Reverend Mike.
Before I go to the message sent to us, we have a message here, a question. Okay, good morning, Mom and Sir. I trust the night went well. I really do like your program on Galaxy TV. I am Taiwo by name. Oh, sorry, I was still asking for his name. I don't know whether you're Ma or Sir. So, Taiwo, your question is, how can I train my teenage child? And this is coming from Taiwo. Barrister, can you help us with that?
Yeah. As a parent, we need to understand that we have obligations towards our children, and which is one of which is instilling discipline in our children, creating time for our children, and being part of our children's lives. Where, as parents, not expected to be absentee parents in the lives of our children. So, as a parent, it's on us to instill moral qualities and values in our children. That's one of the ways we can train our children. And then we can also train our children by acquainting them with societal norms and values and experiences around us and guiding them, not living for them or thinking for them. We are to guide them through life and give them all that they require to be responsible adults in life. For instance, every child, has a right to education. So one of the ways by which you can train your children is by giving them quality education, teaching them the ways of the Lord. Well, that depends on what you believe in, what God you believe in. For instance, it's Isheshe Day today. We're not crucifying anybody, depending on, what you believe on. However, whether Isheshe, Christian, Muslim, there's something that is constant. We all know that there is good and bad. So we need to teach our children to be able to distinguish between good principles, good values, and the very bad ones.
Okay, now to my question. What role does the education sector or system play in preventing or enabling teenage crime? What role? You just talked about education. And some will tell you, it was from education. Because you will tell them to go and check social thing on the internet. Before you know it, I saw my son trying to know how to shoot, how to go into cyber crimes. What role does the education sector play?
Education cannot be taken away from, you can't separate education from training a child.
You can't.
You cannot. However, for one, education plays the role of instilling knowledge and skill in children. And that's very necessary. For one, educated children imbibe, societal and emotional stability. They learn to live peacefully. Education instills that value in them. It fosters discipline also in them. And then it also gives them the impetus to look forward to greater heights in life. It gives hope. It empowers our juveniles. And where our juveniles are empowered, of course, crime rates, is reduced drastically. Now, looking at the other end of education, I mentioned earlier that education instills value, but where those values are wrongly instilled, it could lead to, it could enable crime in our juveniles. I'm trying to think of an instance that that can be easily understood
by all.
By all, but I'll come back to that. Right. So education, if its main focus is academic achievements, at the best you have intelligent people that are morally bankrupt. So which is why education must instill values, societal values in the juveniles. That way, the number of crimes around, will be reduced greatly.
Thank you so much. So now, I love the fact that you talked about education, and you said something. You said when you're academically okay and you're morally bankrupt, that's the one most people go to school and morals is zero. But now, can we say factors like poverty, inequality are to be blamed when we are talking about crimes? We've had the young one. They'll say, "Hey, my parents don't have money. I'm stealing because I'm prostituting because, or I had to take what was not mine because." There's always that because. So, can we say factors like poverty or inequality are to be blamed when these teenagers go into crime?
All right. As much as these two factors are significant in, moral bankruptcy, juvenile crimes, it would be very wrong for us to, absolutely put it on poverty and moral inequality or economic inequality. Poverty actually and sincerely is the root of most of the crimes around. Where a child is from a poor home, the child may not be able to access quality education. Let's even leave quality education, any kind of education at all. You understand? And as long as we have children that are not educated, the society is not safe. Because, like I said, I highlighted earlier, education instills, certain qualities, social balance. It teaches us certain skills, certain knowledge that helps us in our relations with one another and the society at large. But where that is missing as a result of poverty, where parents cannot even train their children, or where families cannot even access medical, opportunities, there'll be crime. Now, economic inequality talks about imbalanced distribution of the societal wealth. Now, where some juveniles or adolescents are aggrieved that they are being unfairly treated in the society, there's this anger, obsession, and aggression inside that is growing inside, and ultimately, it results in crime. So, poverty and inequality can, aggravate crime in the society.
Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you so much, Barrister. I have this. Good day, ma'am. I'd like to pick you. I would like to bring today. No, I'm not getting this. Okay, majority of our Christian women, they have time for their children in the of church activities. Okay, what can we say to this? My name is Reverend Babalola from Ibafu, State. Thank you. Okay, I am not really getting that question, but what is trying to say is something like women have time for their children in bringing them to church activities. Can we say something like that is enough way to bring such a child to to the knowledge of God and to the fear of God. I think that's what he's trying to say. And there's also another one. Good morning, women of substance. Can teenage found smoking hard be sentenced by law of a country? Is there anything like a teenager taking hard drugs, substances?
It's a crime in itself.
Okay, what's the gravity? Can we know how weighty that is?
Okay.
And to help them.
All right.
Others was taking colossus or whatever.
Okay. Taking of alcoholic substances,
teenager,
drugs by teenagers are in themselves offenses to the law of the land. And like I said earlier, a number of factors comes to play when a teenager or a juvenile commits an offense. For instance, the age of that child comes to play. The maturity of the child comes to play. The history of the child also comes to play. So if your child is from age 12, your child will be criminally liable. And there are, punishments for this. You understand? The punishment ranges from, because we have a distinct judicial system that deals with such offenses. It ranges from probation to community service to even imprisonment.
Like
in juvenile.
How many weeks, months?
12.
12 months.
12 months.
Wow. Then is there any rehab that this juvenile will need to go through the process? Because sometimes many will say they are juvenile, they take them to juvenile correctional center, but they don't have, the step-to-step process of actually rehabilitating these ones, leaving crime or leaving whatever offense they've been, all down for. They come out worse.
Yeah, I just spoke about various measures, with which juveniles are dealt with. Where a juvenile commits an offense and is found guilty, there are processes. It begins with counseling, because the whole idea of juvenile system is rehabilitation, and then ultimately reinstating that child back into the society such that they grow into responsible adults. That is the purpose. That's the whole idea. Much as we want to hold them accountable for their actions. You understand? Which is why we're not letting them go on the basis that they are just juveniles. They are young. They know what they do. We hold them accountable. But so they could be referred for counseling.
Okay.
They also could, go to prison for it. They could be jailed for it, depending on the nature of offenses committed.
Okay, now, to my next question, how much responsibility should teenagers, themselves bear for their own actions? How much responsibility? Because if we, the society, blame the parent, and the parent will say the society or it's peer pressure, the government will say no, it's the parent that did not train the child anyway. Everybody's pushing the blame, the responsibility. Just like our watermark, the price we pay is because we let go of that character we need to have corrected. So, how much responsibility should teenagers, themselves bear to become responsible? When I was doing research on this thing, I went to chat GP and it was telling me, no, it is not the parent. The responsibility is actually on the teenager, on the child. So how much can they bear? Please send in text message, don't call. Text messages or like God bless. Please.
Now, Section 1 of the Criminal Act talks about criminal responsibility. And it says that it is the punishment it is the ability for offenses committed. So, if as a child, I told us the age range earlier. If as a child you commit an offense, you are responsible.
You're responsible for
depending on the age group that you fall in. Yeah, so juveniles can be criminally responsible. depending for the offenses.
Just like I came across the story of a boy that was sentenced to prison when he was 10 years for committing murder. And 10 years after, he was released. But that's story for now. I see some billboards now where they say, please do not sell alcohol to children, to people below 18 years. On the board. And that is on the board. But when you go into reality, I've walked into lounge and I've seen basically between the age of 12 to 18 and they are drinking themselves. I've seen, you walk on the streets, you see boys, you see girls, they're smoking, they're taking, drugs and all of that. Now, do you think that access to this product or to this drugs, to this alcohol, contributes to teenage criminal activities? Because when they take these things, they are high. I saw the brother was beating the boy 2 days ago, a 13-year-old, beat and said he lives his life on colos. The mother was crying. At that point, I was lost. He lives his life on colos. Starting from, when, at what point did he get to that stage where at 13, he's already living his life on colos? You see the boy very slim, eh? So now, can we see access? Because you walk on the street, when a boy is sending them on one message, or somebody is saying, go get me trophy, go get me alcohol and all that. Can we say that access to these things contribute to criminal activities among the juveniles?
All right. When we talk about access to anything, it talks about availability of such thing to any individual. Now, where juveniles have access to probably alcohol or, drugs, in effect, they abuse it because it's easily available. If I can, buy a carton of, say, Gouda as a child, what do you expect? After taking 20 bottles, it triggers, erratic behaviors.
Yeah, it does.
Poor judgment by such children. Also, because I have colos or marijuana all around me and I can afford to have it, and I take, of course, number one, understand that I am bound to overdo it because I'm a child. I consume it as much as I have it available to me. And that triggers negative tendencies in me. It brings about misbehavior and violence ultimately. So, availability of such substances to our kids, yes, increases significantly, criminal behaviors in our children.
Okay. Someone just sent a message, you can train your child by flogging them when they do something wrong, like my mom does.
This is beyond flogging. It's beyond flogging.
Flogging is the right correction.
It's beyond flogging. It's beyond flogging.
So, woman speaking on how to train our children, I'd like her to counsel me more on relationship, marriage, if I am privileged. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, we'll look at that and maybe we'll call us after the program. But right now, we're focusing on teenage crime, which are fault. You or me, society, the government, the school, peer pressure. My role as a mother, as an aunt, or as an uncle out there, is to blame. Now, do you think the justice system should focus more on rehabilitation or punishment for teenagers? As a lawyer, as a family, counsel, lawyer, do you think they should focus more on rehabilitation? And now, this is why I'm asking this question. Like I said, you call me, God bless you, I love you, send me a message. Now, I'm asking this because at times they are arrested and sent to a juvenile correction center. And they get there, they lose it sometimes. They don't go through. I don't know how the juvenile center in Nigeria is, but I remember there was a time we brought in a lawyer who said it is not what
It's
you
not
want
to have
to.
them there.
It's not even the best. So don't even let your children walk close to the prison. Don't let them. Now, a child that was arrested at the age of 16 and had to go through maybe its mother or what else? Assault or anything, and maybe have to use like 2 or 3 years, becomes an adult,
Okay.
and by the time he comes out, maybe he's an orphan. Maybe he was brought up by a single mother. Maybe the parents are still there, but they have abandoned him. This one has, disgraced us. And he's now coming back to the society without anyone. He's not even ready to go back to the parents. You understand? That's why I'm asking this question. That do you think the justice system should just focus on the punishment or look at a way to bring them back, change their mind? I know the heart is very, very difficult to work on. Even as parents, some parents cannot understand it. How much more the government? Government too gets their own family to run through. So which would you think is the best way to run this? And can we use the box is crucial. But we should be more important.
Okay. Looking at the rehabilitative aspect of the juvenile justice system, which is the whole focus of that, justice system. It aims at one, reforming the adolescent and then reinstating them back into the society. While the punitive system focuses on punishing them, holding them accountable for their actions, and also using it as a deterrent for the juvenile or for other juveniles.
Okay.
So if you look at the both, yes, you want to reform a juvenile, an errant, juvenile. You want to reinstate that juvenile back into the society such that that juvenile becomes a responsible adult. Also, I feel that it's also important that we hold such juveniles accountable for their actions and also use them as standards of deterrence for themselves and for the society. So I think the fusion of both, will help.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And to everyone who has listened to this, it's actually a very emotional topic because when you look at what's happening in the society, you understand what we are talking about. Please share to your friends. Every parent needs to hear this, and the juveniles out there, you're responsible for your action. So stay away from crime. I am Princess Joy Ayo-Abu. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
On behalf of everyone who has made today's show a beautiful success, tomorrow's show is going to be trauma. We're talking about the health implication of trauma. Please make sure you're available. My name is Remain Uluri Adejoki David, and thank you to our guest, Barrister Kemisola Obitayo. Hope you have a wonderful a wonderful Isheshe day. Enjoy your holiday. Like I told people on my status, please make sure this is another opportunity for you to check your vital signs. Look out for your health. Rest very well is very important. See you tomorrow. Have a splendid day. Thank you to everyone.